Yo, good morning. Salute BFTB. Salute to you, brother. Glad you come through, bro. Black Spring, salute. Yo, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Salute to BFTB and Black Spring with Autumn in here early. Yo, y'all go check out BFTB's channel and Black Spring. Make sure you check out Speak for Myself as well. BFTB's other channel, if you guys haven't done so already. Very sharp brother right there, man. Sharp. We don't agree with on politics with everything, but you know, hey, he's still sharp as hell, man. You know, even if we don't have to always agree, to respect each other's opinions and points of view. Salute to Yeshua's return. Salute to you, bro. You know, and Black Spring with Autumn as well. Black Spring with Autumn, super sharp. Y'all go check these people out. You know, we need more voices out there, you know, speaking out against the corruption, speaking out against the bullshit, highlighting the bullshit so that we can come to a better understanding of what we really need as a people. You know, we can start to determine and understand, do we really need the representation we have in place if they aren't truly representing us? Whether you believe in government or not, what is happening right now is not working. Someone asked if I have Yeshua asked if I have a Discord. I do have a Discord, but I need to do something about I haven't been very active on my Discord server. There are people that, excuse me, many of my supporters have gone to my Discord. I'm just not very active. But I did, no, we don't need them, BFTB, exactly. And we might have different end goals or whatever the case may be, but if we have a common interest, right? Because I know you a good brother. You know what I'm saying? I know you got a solid head on your shoulders. It starts with that understanding, where what BFTB just said, that we don't need them. So with that in mind, we need to figure out what we really do need. And yes, I am on X right now. I just started an X account, right? You guys go check that out. Somehow there was already someone on Twitter with the name Freedom's March. I don't know, like, I have never heard anyone use that moniker or that phrase or that name ever, and somehow they already snatched it up. So I'm on X as Freedom's March 1. It is what it is. You know, my handle is Snap on there. So yes, BFTB, we do have the same goal, just a different beginning. Yes, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into a lot of that, especially I'm going to talk about that when I talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, because what you said when we had our heated discussion, a very impassioned, I don't want to say heated because it sounds like anger. No, when we had our impassioned discussion, when you said the thing about getting the right people in the right place, I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is the right person, but she is pushing back against establishment Republicans, and that is a good example of what BFTB is talking about. It's just, how do we ensure that she's able to get things done? And I want to talk about that in that discussion. But today, I want to talk about this ceasefire, right? This ceasefire that Donald Trump and, you know, other nations and Israel, and because it wasn't just Israel, let's understand that. It wasn't just Israel and Hamas that came up with this peace deal, right? No, there were other countries involved. There was the U.S. involved and all that good shit, right? The problem is, oh, okay, good. I will do that. I'll do that. BFTB, the real Freedom's March. I'll do that. I don't believe it's real either. I'm going to get into why I don't believe the ceasefire is real, but I want to highlight how people are coming out talking shit about people not praising Israel for the ceasefire type of praise, or owe them some type of gratitude. What do you want us to say, Shapiro? And shit, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I have this new phone car mount, and it's not like the one I'm used to, but the one I'm used to, the shit kept breaking when you tighten the back. Every time I tighten the back that holds the mount to the little arm, it snaps. So I had to change the brand, but this thing right here, man. But anyway, exactly. Praise them for what? And I'm gonna get into that. What are we praising Israel for? Why is Michael Rapaport so angry? Why is Ben Shapiro talking that shit? Talking about, oh, where y'all at now? Oh, there's a ceasefire. There's a ceasefire. Where you at? Where you at? Where are y'all at? Y'all silent now. Well, first of all, it was a ceasefire. Why aren't you telling us to praise Donald Trump? Why aren't you telling us to praise Qatar? Why aren't you telling us to praise Arab nations that helped come up with this ceasefire? Why are we just supposed to praise Israel? What do you want us to do for Israel? Like, what kind of shit do you want us to say? Because what Israel is doing, right, as part of the ceasefire, is some shit they supposed to do. Stop the genocide and get your monkey asses out of fucking Palestine. That is what you're supposed to do. You don't get praise for that. You don't get praise for that. It's like when you go to work. You go to work, you ain't been doing your job properly. Your job description is to assemble 20 cell phones a week, but you only assemble 15. But they don't fire your ass because your daddy is the CEO, so they just let you rock. But then one day you decide to get a wild hair up your ass and assemble 20 phones. But you're supposed to get praised for that. No, you doing your job, bro. You're doing what you're supposed to do in the first place. Now, Israel wants us to kiss their ass, per usual, right? And this is what they pay all these people for. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, BF. That's where I'm at with it. When I park, you guys gonna have to give me a minute to remount this stupid. I don't know why they can't just come up with a lot of people out today. Anyway, why should we praise Israel when, At the very least, we know for a fact they killed 67,000 civilians in 2 years. At the very least, if you want to go with the smallest amount that they want us to know about. But if you go with the Lancet study says that there were 680,000 people killed by Israel, over 400,000 of whom were children. 400,000 children. Right? Now, this includes the starvations, and all these different ways that these people died, which they would not have died in that manner if not for what Israel was doing. Israel completely, yes, most of them children, over 400,000. Hold on. I'm going to try to remount this thing without, this thing is just, hold on. I'm going to turn the camera off. So 600,000, over 680,000 people killed during Israel occupation of Gaza, right? Now, over 400, according to the Lancet, right? According to Lancet, over 400 were children. Y'all hit the like button. I don't know why I only got 6 likes. It is what it is. The trolls are quiet today. What's up? They probably do got church. Eminem, cabinets, and trim. What am I delusional about? What am I delusional about? Help me understand it. What am I delusional about? What have I told you guys? I told you that there's a ceasefire, right? And these people want us to praise Israel and lick their balls from the back because Israel agreed to a ceasefire. After they done leveled the entire city of Gaza. This completely leveled. It's going to take years to rebuild in Gaza. They killed over 400,000 people because I'm going to go with the Lancet study, which is a lot more involved and it accounts for a lot more than other people are accounting for. And all of a sudden, there's a ceasefire, which is just in the first phase. It's only been what? It hasn't even been more than 24 hours yet since the ceasefire started. And we're supposed to praise and what? We supposed to give them a cookie? What does Israel want? What does Ben Shapiro and Michael Rapaport want us to do? What do you want to say? Mr. Majestic the 8th says the U.S. should not have gave a F about the ceasefire in a whole other country when the U.S. federal government is shut down. Well, here's the problem, because yesterday I was talking to someone. I was talking to my brother, Darius C. Williams, and we were on the Queen Black Spring Autumn's live stream, and we were talking about Israeli money versus U.S. money, how apparently Israel has more influence over our representatives than the people do because their money is longer. Well, I had to remind everybody that Israel's money is our money, right? Israel's money is our money. BFT Boxing says the Nazis must be propaganda as well. Then exactly. See, only they can commit genocide. Yes, when Israel commits genocide, it's okay. Aren't you happy the war stopped? Happy? Sure, I'm happy the war stopped. But what does it have to do with Israel? You think Israel really wanted this shit to stop? Why should... I'll tell you when I'll be happy, but first I want to play what Michael Rapaport said and Ben Shapiro said. Sure, I'm happy that for now, they're not killing women and children. For now. But I'm not happy about the fact that after this ceasefire was announced, Israel decided to take tanks and attack civilians with their tanks before the ceasefire officially went into place. Because, see, this is the type of shit they do. Yes, BFT Boxing. Yes, they have no natural resources. And, yeah, What we don't gain anything from Israel. The only reason Israel has so much influence is because since World War II, they have been able to maneuver around, get into positions, right? Within corporations, within government, within the banks, to have so much influence. We don't really get anything beneficial from Israel. Salute the sunshine in the building, sniping from her sniper blind. Salute to you, Queen. Always out there. Ashkenazi fatigue is real. The land of God must be protected. Who is supposed to protect the land of God? Like, are we supposed to believe that Israel is going to protect the land of God? Now, I'm a liar, says Eminem. I'm asking you, what am I lying about? What am I delusional about? You have yet to tell me. Yes, the land belongs to the Palestinians. But that doesn't matter to these people. Now he's asking who's lying. I'm telling you, whatever. Eminem, Hamas had been getting attacked. Yes. They have been getting attacked. Oh, you didn't say I was a liar? Okay, you were asking the question. My bad, bro. So I'm going to play what Michael Rapaport says because I find it very interesting because and then I'm going to play bit what Ben Shapiro says. I find it interesting because the ceasefire is still in its first phase, right? It's still in its first phase, and there are multiple problems with this ceasefire. There are issues I have with this ceasefire because it's still, when it comes to the ceasefire, you still have Israel occupying over 53% of the land in Gaza. 53% of the strip. They still have control. They still are occupying that number of that percentage of land, right? That's in the first phase. But Hamas has to give up the 20 hostages. Israel is going to release 1,000 or so. Let me see. I had it pulled up. What we know about the first phase, okay? There are 1,700 detainees. They're going to give up 250 Palestinian prisoners, 1,700 detainees, and increase the amount of aid. Now, increase the amount of aid. And this is one of the biggest problems that we were having. The land of God is temporary slave term. Do I want peace or not? I've been wanting peace for the last 2 years. I've not been wanting hundreds of thousands of children to be to die of starvation and to be crushed by buildings that these people are blowing up. They're blowing up civilian buildings, hospitals, schools, right? They're blowing up civilian residential buildings. And they're telling you, oh, well, there's tunnels there. Oh, there's a tunnel under that building, so we got to blow the building up. No, I have a problem with that. I'm not just going to forget that these people committed genocide. The ICC declared Benjamin Nosferatu a war criminal. The UN has declared that what they were doing in Gaza is a genocide. For it to get to the point where the UN is calling it a genocide and the ICC is calling Benjamin Nosferatu a war criminal, that means that they can no longer avoid or hide the fact that this is a genocide. We just witnessed genocide in Gaza over 2 years. Over 80, I think it's over 80%, 84% of Gaza has been completely leveled. It's going to take years to rebuild. And guess who's going to come in and rebuild? The United States. Oh yeah, the contractors, the private contractors, all these individuals. And not only that, we have to deploy 200 troops to go to Gaza? For what? What should I be happy about? I'll tell you when I'd be happy. I'll tell you. Because there is a place where we can be happy, right? We'll never get over the loss of life that was completely unnecessary, that was committed, the loss of life at the hands of Israel by the backing of the United States government with our funding and our military equipment. Yeah. I'm never going to be happy about that, because that will always linger if you have a soul in our hearts and in our minds. And throughout history, this will be looked at as a genocide. And the United States will have been a party to a genocide that occurred over 2 years. Right? BFT Boston says Zionists can take their asses back to the mountains they were kicked out of. Yes, as they should go. Yes. First name, last name says, I'm glad Black Americans are calling them out. Ain't no way them small hats originate from Levant. Man, that's a whole nother ball of wax. Carolina Schumer says, like Candace Owens said, it'll be Israel's beach town. You know it's going to be. See, this is what I believe is going to happen, right? Why I can't just say, oh, I'm so happy right now. Oh, I'm so, congratulations, Israel. No, I can't do that. You know why? Because I already know what this is going to be. That 54% of Gaza that Israel will remain in, I don't think that's ever going to go away. Someone says bullshit. It is genocide, Edward Baker. It is genocide. Argue with the UN about that. Argue with Lancet, okay? Trump Heights. We already know Donald Trump wants to turn Gaza into New Gaza, right? We know what this is about. They're going to turn Gaza into Jamaica. You understand? Jamaica, right? Where, it's going to be an apartheid, not even Jamaica. It's going to be a form of apartheid that everyone can live with. Why? Because, well, look, Israel stopped killing children. Whatever we got to do to keep Israel from killing a bunch of children. Salute to speak for myself. Let me speak for myself. Salute to you, bro. It is criminal. Y'all need to hit the like button, man. I don't understand that. Hit the like button. All you gotta do is double tap the screen. Yeah, smash that like button, y'all. It's just a double tap. It's all. Oh, that's what's up. Speak for myself. Make sure you drop your I just modded you up. This guy says what apartheid? The apartheid, fool. The apartheid. You know what an apartheid is. It's going to be coming a hell of an apartheid. YouTube Glasgow, salute. Y'all hit the like button, man. Even if, hey, no problem. Make sure y'all drop your link if y'all got a channel, man. If you mod it up. Nia Generational says Nosferatu Milikowski, yeah. Look, Benjamin Nosferatu is a clown, right? And the people of Israel has allowed Benjamin Nosferatu to remain in power for way too long, right? And now he's using emergency war powers to remain in place. I mean, this is unacceptable. Matthew Dorado says, you're a clown. Help me understand what that word is. What is a clown? ACLOWN. Is that a new word? You making shit up now? Separation of the people through race and religion is apartheid. Exactly. And that's what this is going to be. They're not going to leave. No, they're going to allow people to come back. There is no such thing. And you know, most people don't even know what a Semite is. Do you guys know that Palestinians are Semites? They're Semites as well. Do you know what a Semite is? I'm sure most of you do not. You don't have any say about how our country operates. Adam Cass, what does that mean? If we're funding that country, we should have a say. If we're bankrolling that country, we should have a say. If we're giving that country $3.8 billion a year on a regular, just on GP, and then we're giving them more money to commit genocide, I think we should have a say. Absolutely. Because they would not be in the position they're in right now if not for us. What are you talking about? Anyway, let me go ahead. Why don't you have this passion for America? You might actually invoke. What passion for America? Is this your first time on my channel? Bruh. What kind of passion do you want me to have for America? Israel was preparing for a longer war. No, Trump didn't stop shit. A ceasefire does not mean the war stopped. They're in armistice right now. There's a difference between peacetime and... So there's wartime, peacetime, and armistice. They're in armistice right now. Like North Korea and South Korea. North Korea and South Korea are technically still at war. But they're in armistice. It's a ceasefire that is a long drawn out ceasefire. Ceasefire does not mean that the war stopped. No. Because they're still occupying Palestinian land. Anyway, yes, the U.S. enables it. I'm glad we're understanding this. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Nick Milano, I appreciate you, brother. I'm babbling and crying. Sure. Let me get my tissue. Hold on. I forgot my tissue, y'all. I got some cotton nails. Hold on. Anyway, you happy? See, now there can be reality behind the bullshit you're talking. Anyway, let's just hear what I want y'all to hear. What Michael Rapaport has to say. First and foremost, he's an animated guy, isn't he not? He's an animated guy. He likes to.
Started. Where are you motherfuckers at? Is it not cool? Is that not what the cool kids are doing? You've been saying for 2 years, cease fire now. You got to cease fire right now. It's happening right now. The hostages are being released. I know you don't give a fuck about that. Maybe it's not the ceasefire. It's occupation. Oh, well, but they're not occupying Gaza.
The hostages, have they been released yet? This was when? 2 days ago, y'all. 2 days ago, the ceasefire, and this guy comes out, Quinn Martin, salute to you, bro, dropping that $2 super chat. Israel stole our nuclear arms and nothing happened. Oh, I'm going to get into what Israel has done to the United States. Yes. Do you know they attacked one of our ships? Israel has attacked one of our ships before. Just so you guys know. There never should have been anybody firing in the first place. Yeah. And salute to you, speak for myself. Black Spring with Autumn, the beautiful Black Spring with Autumn says, it reminds me of scripture. I paraphrase. When they say peace and safety, they then sudden destruction. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Now, okay. Did Israel... No, the hostages were not released yet. I mean, you got to give it time. You want us to come out and lick Israel's taint immediately? No, give it time, bro. Let's see what happens. Can we see what happens first before we go around saying, oh, good for Israel? No, can you give us a minute?
The occupation of the West Bank, or Judea, Samaria, the Zionists.
First of all,
yo, there's a ceasefire.
He just told y'all that Israel's not occupying Gaza. They are occupying Gaza. They're occupying 54% of Gaza. They haven't even all the way pulled out yet. Even me, I'm like, look, okay, they did a ceasefire. I'm going to find out how long this lasts because there were other ceasefires that Israel agreed to and broke. And when they bombed Iran and Donald Trump came up with the ceasefire that Israel agreed to, what did Israel do right before the official start time of the ceasefire? When Donald Trump told them, all right, we got this ceasefire going, stop bombing Iran. Knock it off. What did they do? They went ahead and strafed the shit out of him anyway, right before the window closed. This is how these people operate. But we supposed to praise and glaze these people. Hell no. No, you cannot trust BB. Nosferatu.
Right now. Breathe, motherfuckers. Be happy. Be elated. I'm happy. I'm elated. I cannot wait. All fucking regular, normal people, any single normal, regular person is excited and happy. Baruch Hashem, that these hostages, Baruch Hashem, are going to make it home.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. No, listen, bro. I'll tell you when I'll be happy with Israel. But I'm gonna wait for Ben Shapiro to talk his shit. We're gonna let these people talk their shit. That's how it works. Let them talk their shit.
Few days. And there's no war, there's no explosions, no bombing, no IDF soldiers, no innocent civilians.
2 days ago, when he's talking this shit, Israel was using tanks and firing upon Palestinian civilians right before it was time for the ceasefire to start. After it was announced by Donald Trump, after he said, what did he tell Israel before the ceasefire? When I first talked about this peace deal, he told Israel to stop bombing, and they were bombing anyway, and they were attacking people with tanks. Speak for myself says, I got 5 combat deployments, and I have never seen an Israeli soldier standing next to me for a war they started. And yeah, that's a reality. They never will. They never will. They never will. Make sure you put your link in the chat. Speak for myself. Make sure you drop your link, brother. No, Israel don't give a shit about nobody over here. They bomb South Lebanon. They are bombing 8 different countries right now. They have an 8-front war. But he ain't talking about the 8 fronts, the 7 other fronts.
Innocent civilians of Gaza and actual innocent civilians of Gaza being hurt and scared. And you got nothing to say now, motherfuckers? Maybe I'm just...
What?
Dumb. I believed you motherfuckers when you were saying ceasefire, ceasefire. But maybe I'm a fucking sucker. I'm the dumbass for believing that you motherfuckers actually wanted that shit. You didn't want that shit.
Now what?
Abby Martin, where are you with this deal? Do you believe this deal?
What does Michael Rapaport want us to say? What does he want? Yeah, we call for a ceasefire. Yes, Israel started all kind of shit. What do they want us to say? Dr. Gloom says low hat fatigue. That's funny. Yes, in 1948, all that shit. Now, I want to touch on, we're going to go over Ben Shapiro, but I also want to queue up the USS Liberty. You guys familiar with that? You guys know about the USS Liberty? Anybody know? Can y'all hit the like button? This is diabolical, y'all. Yes, it's an energy drink. This is my only vice. My only vice is energy drinks. But you know what? This particular energy drink, it has neurotropics in it. It has saffron in it. It has things in there to help kind of take the edge off the caffeine. But yes, caffeine is my only vice. And, you know, it doesn't affect me like it affects most people. It doesn't make my heart race and all. Like right now, because I'm animatedly speaking, my heart rate is at 66 beats per minute. But usually when I can be in the 50s. Like my heart rate will be in the low 50s if I'm drinking an energy drink. I can drink a whole can and be chilling, and it would not be like my heart rate will stay in the 50s. But right now, because I'm, you know, animated, it's up. Anybody familiar with USS Liberty and what happened there in 1967? Anybody familiar with that? Ariella, I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you. Realize says, salute to Realize in the building. Yes, free America from AIPAC. I think there are only 2 Congress people, two representatives in the House and the Senate that aren't bankrolled by AIPAC. See, we have a lot of problems with this government, the way this thing goes, right? USS Liberty, is what made me start to question Israel. Yes, if you guys aren't familiar, yes, speak for myself. USS Liberty was the ship that was attacked by Israel that contained uranium that they stole. Yes. Familiarize yourself. And what did we do? We didn't do shit, right? What did we do to Israel? Oh, we thought it was, we didn't know it was you. They said they didn't know it was our boat, even though it was clearly our boat. It was clearly a U.S. Yes, thank you, Black Spring Autumn. You guys can go copy a copy of my book, The Seeds of Dark Matter Disease. You can get it on Amazon. You can get the hard copy. You can get the ebook, which is only $4. But you can also, if you have Kindle, you can get that shit for free. I just want y'all to read it and leave reviews. So, yes, they had American flags on and all that. They bombed the shot. They torpedoed them. The USS Liberty, 1967. Understand. And you ask yourself, how does Israel get away with this shit they get away with? It's crazy. Yes. They want to talk about, you know how they always go to the attack. I forgot what that attack was. When they blew that big hole in the side of the ship. I think it was in 2000 and I forgot when it was. I forgot what the name of that ship was, but they always talk about that with Iran or whoever they said it was. But Israel bombed, torpedoed the shit out of the USS Liberty. We didn't know it was you. Fuck out of here. So let's go to, let's see what Ben Shapiro has to say. This whiny, he's annoying as hell, but you know, you gotta know what these people are talking about, right? Let's see what he's talking about.
All the people who kept yelling about genocide, where did they go? Like, seriously, where did they go? Because all the people who are screaming about genocide now.
We right here. Yes, the USS Cole. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Ryan Radisky. And yeah, it was Yemen. Yes, the USS Cole. Yeah. Intercepted communications from the pilots confirming that they knew the ship. Yes, they knew it was American. Oh, and somebody called me annoying? Because this is what they do. So let's hear what Ben Shapiro has. Where did they go? We're right here. We've been here. We've been here, Ben. What are you talking about?
A deal's on the table that stops all of this, that frees hostages, that stops the bombing campaign in Gaza, that rolls back.
For now, can we get to a point where, okay, can we give it a few weeks? I'm not saying this shit ain't gonna work. I'm saying if you want us, where we at? We right here. We ain't going nowhere. But I'm not going to praise Israel for this ceasefire. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not doing it because they have destroyed so many lives up to this point, and we're just supposed to do what for them now? I appreciate you, Aminata Diaf. We are still here, yeah. Where we go? We right here, pimping. Come on.
Israeli military presence to decide it upon line. And they've all ghosted the internet. They're gone. They disappeared. Poof, they're just gone. It's kind of amazing.
What? Israel is still occupying 54% of Palestinian land. Now, it's unrealistic to snap the fingers and just disappear, but we have to give it time. We have to see what happens. We have to see if there's any accountability, right? We haven't gotten there yet.
Now, you would imagine that if you spent 2 years fighting against an actual genocide, not a fake genocide like what's happening in Gaza, which is not by any stretch of the imagination or any...
Fake genocide. A salute to you, Purple Rain. I appreciate you. Realize says many of you who support Israel ain't real and very annoying. Now, what are you talking about, Ben? Fake genocide? He's calling it a fake genocide. The UN has called it a genocide. Lancet has determined it was a genocide using real numbers. There are hundreds of thousands of missing Palestinians that have been missing for years and years and months. Starvation, still in the rubble, still in the buildings. There are actual journalists that go into Gaza that Israel hasn't killed, right? Because God forbid you're a Palestinian journalist, they're taking your ass out. God forbid you're a camera, they're going to call you Hamas and take out the cameras that's filming shit. But there are journalists that have been to Israel, have accounts, film all this shit, and they understand that in those buildings that Israel completely leveled, hundreds of thousands of dead bodies not recovered yet. And oh, well, we tell them, we give them time to evacuate. We give them time to go to another location before we bomb the shit out of their buildings that are non-military, that aren't military installations. Oh, but when they go to the place you told them to go to, you bomb that too. You tell them to evacuate one location, you bomb that location and then bomb the location that they evacuated to. Listen, y'all, I'm not falling for the okie doke. I'm not falling for it.
To the imagination or any definition ever a genocide. But imagine that you were fighting like a real genocide, like the Rwandan genocide.
Boy, this dude is, wow, it wasn't a genocide. Okay.
And a deal happened to stop the genocide. And then all the people who were fighting to stop it just disappeared. They didn't say anything. They didn't celebrate. They didn't say this is a good thing.
Celebrate a good thing? You want us to stop and you want us to celebrate the ending of a genocide? You want us to celebrate it? Like, yippee? What kind of celebration should we have? Shouldn't we take a moment? Okay, all the slaughtering is over. Can we mourn? Can we come to a realization? Can we start maybe working towards making heads roll? Right? Now, if they are no longer committing genocide, okay, that is a good thing. We don't want them to continue to commit genocide, but what we want is accountability. We're not going to celebrate, right? No hostages free yet. Exactly, Tamara. That's what I'm. Yeah, the hostages weren't even freed yet by Palestine. They haven't had an opportunity to do anything yet. We have to give it time. More like they're getting without Israel knowing. Excuse me. Speak for myself says Jay's been pushed out of every country they've ever been in for a reason. Yeah. Yeah, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Yes, G Bear Love, we should be mourning. Right? Because now that the dust is, hopefully the dust will settle and we can actually determine how many people were killed as accurately as possible. We come to that determination. And then guess what? Okay, there was a genocide. They stopped aid from getting into the country. Right? They prevented aid from entering into the country for the people. People are starving to death. These are crimes against humanity. They created the Geneva Convention for a reason, because of what they were doing. Right? What the Nazis were doing to those people, to the people in Israel, their ancestors. Right? This is the whole reason we came up with the Geneva Convention. And that's why we had the Nuremberg trials. That's why we had these things occur. Because, well, they were genociding, right? There was a genocide. But now they're doing the same shit to the Palestinians. And we're just supposed to Celebrate now that they stopped genociding people. No, there's no celebration yet, pimping. There's no celebrating yet, pimping. Man, they aren't. Speak for myself. But see, there is a lot to this. Your boy Benjamin Nosferatu is not even a chosen person. He's not even a pretend chosen person. He's not even Ashkenazi. He's Polish, right? Just like Hitler. Hitler was a Jew. He was. You know, these people, it's about power, you guys. Hitler was a self-hating Jew. Hitler was a self-hating Jew. Well, yeah, Poland had tons of Jews, yes, but he's not a Jew. Or let me say he's not Israeli. Because then once you start talking about who and who is not Jew, then that's a whole road that we're not going to go down right now. Bibi is Ashkenazi. Yes. But he's a fake Ashkenazi. I don't even think he's a real Ashkenazi. Who knows who Bibi really is? Why do you have to change his name? Like Hitler changed his name. Why did Donald Trump's father change his name? You have to ask these questions. Right? Why did Jamie Foxx change his name? I don't know. Right? Because there's something about their past that they are running from. Or these are stage names. See, Jamie Foxx is a stage name for Mr. Bishop. I forgot what his real first name was. Speak for myself says, so-called God's people run the most disgusting things the world has ever seen in profit. Yes. What's his name? The dude that just bought TikTok. Something Miller, and now he owns 1/6 of the media, 1/6 of mainstream media corporations, for the express purpose of pushing a pop propaganda campaign in the United States, because the United States, they know where their bread is buttered. Their bread is buttered right here in the United States, right? So Ben Shapiro has a problem.
This is a good thing. They didn't give credit. They didn't try to, like, nothing. They just
credit
totally
for what?
Silent. What might that tell you?
Credit for what? Listen, when Donald Trump talked about this ceasefire, and Benjamin Nosferatu ostensibly agreed to it. Yeah, Eric Bishop. Yes, Eric Bishop. They changed their names for a reason, right? Like, if you go look at my book, that's my pen name. The author's name for my book is my pen name. It's not my real name. It's a pen name. And there's a reason for that. But if you look at, damn, what was I saying? Shit, fuck it. I lost my train of thought. Anybody know what I was talking about? It's so much.
About those people. I mean, the first thing would be that they...
What do they want credit for? Credit for what? Oh, here's what I'm going to say. So Donald Trump lays out this peace plan and creates a peace organization. Salute to Love. Thank you. Always dropping a great gift on you, boy. I appreciate you, Queen or King. I can't tell. I appreciate you though. Salute to Love and peace. Shaq Shalom says black people are smart. Yes, we are. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that, Shaq. So when Donald Trump laid out the peace plan in which he's going to be the leader of this new peace organization, I forgot what he called it. Pardon me. And then he wants to put the former prime minister of England, Tony Blair, he wants to have him trying to head up and try to ensure that the peace plan goes through. I mean, he's a warmonger as well, right? What does Bibi Nosferatu go back and in Hebrew tells his people? Oh, we ain't going nowhere. Oh, we ain't leaving. He basically told his people he has no intent on holding up. He's not gonna. Yeah, they're gonna stay. That is his intentions. He told his people what his intentions are. After he agreed to the peace deal, he's already telling his people, yeah, we're not gonna leave anywhere. We're gonna stay right there. We're gonna get the settlements going. We have a greater Israeli agenda that we have to fulfill. Listen, Benjamin Nosferatu, he has no intent on holding up anything. So I'm gonna let Ben whine and bitch and moan for a little bit longer.
That they don't actually care about these.
Salute to Convos with Cam in the building, the beautiful Convos with Cam. Always coming through and supporting. I appreciate you, Queen. Make sure y'all drop y'all links in the chat if you guys got channels. Can I get over 100 likes, please? All you got to do is double tap. Double tap the screen. Don't take y'all long to find something else to cry about. Excuse me. Kevin Glenn, where do you see tears at? You know who's whining? Ben Shapiro's whining and complaining. He's bitching and moaning. We'll look up the end of Trump's term and the purge will be a real thing. Well, that's a possibility. Salute to the Convos with Cam, though. If I change my last name to X, my name would be Malcolm X, says Carolina Schumer. That's what's up. Oops.
Actually care about the supposed genocide, right? That would be the thing that would immediately pop to mind, that you didn't care about that it was all a lie, that you actually had another reason that you were doing this routine. The Washington Free Beacon has an excellent rundown of many of these so-called anti-genocide activists who have gone completely missing, like completely MIA. Mehdi Hassan over at MSNBC, right, former MSNBC personality, who now spends his days on the internet talking with.
So you're going to rattle off a bunch of mainstream journalists? So you're going straight to the mainstream people that are part of this dog and pony show. That's who you're calling out. Because there are plenty of people in the alternative media that don't stay off of this. They stay on this shit. Brandon Knight calls me an idiot. Okay. Help me understand. Help me become no longer an idiot. I would like to stop being an idiot. Educate me, please. Yes, they hate Jesus. Yes, they hate Jesus. Absolutely. Yes, they are anti-Jesus. Caroline Realize says Jew is not even a word. It comes from the tribe of Judah, and those entities aren't real. Jews, blacks, lack melanin, but you in the Middle East. Doesn't make sense. Let me get in the Semite. No problem, Black Free Autumn. Yes, you guys go click on these channels, man. Y'all go show some support. These are great people. These are great people who aren't influenced by corporations. They aren't influenced by AIPAC. They aren't influenced by donors, wealthy donors. We are grassroots, getting it where we can fit in. You know what I'm saying? Getting it cracking. So, moderators, get them trolling professionals out of here. Yeah. So I'm done listening to Ben Shapiro, man. We get the gist though, right? He's gonna shame us because we're not. What are we praising Israel for? These motherfuckers just committed 2 years of genocide. Matarin HD, what you laughing at? You keep laughing. His name is Yeshua, right? What is Jesus' name? Here's what we need to understand. Jesus was an anarchist. Jesus was anti-establishment. Right? Ben is a slimy little damn weasel. He is. Yeah, his boy. Listen, man. The bottom line is this, man. Like, Israel is not going to get any praise from me. Oh, here's my. If you guys want to go follow me on Twitter, I just created this. Snapzilla. Just I got to change. I'm going to take my brother's advice, BFTB's advice, and change it to the real, right? The real Freedom's March. And I'm going to make that happen. Who are you, bro? You don't know this, bro. Diesel, what are you talking about? I have no idea what that means. So I'm going to, you know what? This is what's going to make me happy with Israel. And it's a tall task, you guys. It's a tall task. If you want me to praise Israel and give them credit and whatever you want, there are certain things that need to happen, right? They need to pull out completely from Gaza. They need to rebuild Gaza altruistically with that, no occupation. You need to fund the rebuilding of Gaza. Unfortunately, they'll have to use our money to do so, right? Because they're not going to get it from anywhere else. They don't really produce anything, but rebuild Gaza, which is going to cost the U.S. taxpayers a lot of money. It's going to cost us a lot of money to do that. But don't worry, the private contractors, they're going to make out big for it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's just going to drain us and enrich the private contractors and the special interest groups and the corporations that are enriched by us anyway. Anyway, pull completely out of Gaza, restore these people's homes, right? Leave them the fuck alone, right? Leave them alone, but you have to rebuild because you just completely destroyed their entire country, practically. And then you're going to have to pay reparations, which is, of course, is probably going to cost the United States a whole lot of money. Right? It's going to cost us a shitload of money, right? Because we are in the hook with Israel and we're tied to them financially for many different reasons. Okay, so then David Johnson says Robert Wright, the wealthiest 1% of Americans, now control the $53 trillion. Yeah. Yeah, they pay very little taxes. You're absolutely right. And that's one thing we have to come to the realization of as well. We got to play their game or we got to completely shut the game down. But, okay, so they pull out of Gaza, restore these people's homes, pay them reparations, right? But then here's what's really going to make me happy. No, not reparations for October 7th, because what happened on October 7th, Israel allowed to happen so that they can do this very thing, right? There was a stand down order, right? They had pre-knowledge. They had prior knowledge of that attack. This is what I believe based on information that is out there. Go look it up. They had prior knowledge. They had a stand down order because they wanted the attacks to happen so that they can do the thing they're doing right now. If they had prior knowledge, and could have stopped it but didn't, it's on them. So anyway, here's what's really going to make me happy. Howard Nepler says I'm misguided and delusional. Okay, well, guide me and bring me back from delusion. Y'all just never do that. Please. Just tell me, what am I delusional about? What is the proof of what I'm saying? What specifically do you need proof for? What specifically do you want proof for? Anyway, they also need to arrest Benjamin Nosferatu. Israel, the country of Israel. Yeah, they need to arrest Benjamin Nosferatu and put him on trial for the crimes he committed. They need to, his entire cabinet needs to be placed under arrest. And every IDF soldier that followed the inhumane and unlawful orders to perform this genocide also need to be arrested. And once they are found guilty, if they are found guilty, of course there's due process, they need to be executed. And then our government can do what it does best with other countries, right? They can install a puppet government that will actually leave the Gazan people alone. See, this is a pipe dream, right? We're asking our government to install a puppet. This is what I'm asking for. A puppet government to replace Benjamin Nosferatu, his whole cabinet, and every IDF soldier that participated, and make sure that they leave the people of Gaza alone. Right? But first and foremost, Benjamin Nosferatu needs to be placed under arrest for his crimes. Israel doesn't need a pretext. They're already hated. Well, yeah. I mean, they brought that on themselves. They had prior knowledge. Yes. They probably, and I said, speak for myself. This is what I believe. I believe they actually orchestrated the attacks using assets from within Palestine. They probably encouraged and hyped them up. Oh, let's go get them. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because they needed a 9/11. They needed a Gulf of Tonkin. They needed something to trigger because they were getting desperate. Benjamin Nosferatu, he's like, man, y'all, we need to hurry up and make something happen. I think they had prior knowledge, and there's a lot of information out there that shows they had prior knowledge, and they allowed it to happen. And they probably even helped plan the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what y'all don't understand. This is what these people do. This is what Mossad, CIA, they get assets in other countries, and they find people that they can radicalize to do things, commit terrorist attacks, so that we can step in and retaliate and do all these different things. This is what our governments do. They do that. This is what they do. It is what it is. Howard Nepler says, why don't you go to Israel and meet the people? Just don't spew your hate. Don't come back until you have learned the truth if you are capable. Howard Nepler, why would I go to Israel and meet the people? Go to Israel and meet the people for what? What hate am I spewing? What hateful thing did I spew? Don't come back until I learn? You want me to go get re-educated? You want me to get re-educated? You want me to go get re-educated in Israel? Is that what you want? I tell you what, Howard. My email is freedomsmarch80@gmail.com. Freedomsmarch80. Yeah, freedomsmarch80. Simple. He wants me to go to Israel. I don't know why I would go to Israel. What am I going to learn in Israel? What am I going to, why not invite me to Gaza? Why would I go to Israel when the things are happening in Gaza? It would make sense if you, wouldn't it? You're up lying. You have no proof of the things you're saying. Coast the Apache. What thing did I lie about that you want me to prove? Israel orchestrate. It is your prerogative. It doesn't mean what you're saying is right at all. Israel orchestrate. It's your Zook 2012. Help me understand what you're trying to say, because I don't. Salute to y'all. Salute to Michael Kelly. Salute to G Bear Love. Lawrence says, all you globe deceivers are going to lick dust at my people's feet. Who are your people? Lawrence Holzhauser. Let me guess. Howard Nepler wants me to go to the source. Hear from Muslims how things truly are. I'm open to it, but why do I have to go to Israel for that? What am I going to learn? Because I heard about trips to Israel. There was that Asian actor, somebody Lee, who talked about how when he went to Israel, he was very disturbed and uncomfortable, right? Because when he got there, they gave him all the free shit, free room, free board, free food, but he had to tweet something nice about Israel every day. To me, that sounds like manipulation. That's what that sounds like to me. But I'm open to discussions. Like, you know, there are a lot of people that talk shit about Chicago, Los Angeles, Portland. They talk about black on black crime, but they don't go to the people in these areas to have any discussion. Right? But you don't see people like me saying, oh, go to Chicago and talk to the people. My people are the ones in scriptures. Every single scripture will describe them. A lot of people are in the scriptures. There are a lot of different people in scriptures. You have to be more specific, Lawrence. Stop talking about it and go. Stop coming up with excuses. What excuses? Yes, Bobby Lee, says Carolina Schumer. You want me to go to Israel. And you want me to learn and get re-educated. I know what you want. It's not an excuse. It will be cheaper to build a new city 100 miles away from Gaza. Lawrence, your people are the 13th tribe. Y'all are not mentioned in the scriptures, buddy. Says Coast D Apache. Someone informed says it will be cheaper to build. Oh, if you go, you won't come back, bro. Well, you know, that is a distinct possibility. You sound like that British dude that got at Dave Smith because Dave Smith never been to Israel. We can't talk about Israel unless we go to Israel, right? We can't say anything. The Wailing Wall is nothing. Pedos doing a sexual act, moving back and forth. That's crazy. No, so I will praise and I will give Israel credit when they make the people that committed the war crimes pay for their war crimes, or provide the definitive proof that there was no genocide. I want you to see the truth instead of creating false narratives. What false narrative am I creating? Name one false narrative. What about Hamas war crimes? If they committed crimes of war, then they should be punished. Yes, if Hamas committed war crimes, they should be punished for it. See how easy that was? But see, there's no proof that Hamas has committed war crimes, right? But there's tons of proof and tons of accounts and tons of information that points towards Israel committed genocide. So prove that Hamas has committed genocide and we'll make those Hamas leaders and anyone that participated in the genocide, they should be punished. Just like the people that kidnapped, those Hamas people that kidnapped those Israelis and started the attack in the first place. Provide proof and information that shows that Israel had no prior knowledge of the October 7th attacks, that there was no stand down order. Then we can talk about this, because if they had prior knowledge and could have stopped it and let it happen because they had a greater Israel agenda, then you have to pay for that crime against your own people. Just like 9/11, if 9/11 had anything to do with, if it was an inside job with outside help or an outside job with inside help, anybody involved that had anything to do with that, especially if our intelligence agencies had prior knowledge and knew that the 9/11 attacks were going to happen and they allowed it to happen anyway, well, guess what? Heads have to roll. They have to be punished for it. We have to go. So if there were any Hamas people that committed crimes against humanity, that violated the Geneva Convention, then they should also be punished. Easy peasy, simple as a pimple. Simple as a pimple. Stop misleading people. Piece of peace. What am I misleading people about? Yes, Cyrus, USS Liberty. I talked about the USS Liberty earlier. How am I misleading people? What am I doing? Because, see, I asked Nepler to tell me what I'm lying about, what I'm delusional about. But instead of telling me, he tells me to go to Israel. Realize says to all the entities of Israel ain't real. All of you are under reprobate mindset. Hey, the truth is the truth. They all recorded themselves and posted it everywhere. Hamas and the Gazas committed terrible crimes. Okay. If that's the case, then they should be punished. I've seen the videos. I've seen videos. I question the authenticity. And like I said, if the Israeli government knew that these things were going to happen and they allowed it to happen, G Bear Love says I'm misleading the people by telling the truth. If Hamas committed crimes against humanity, okay then, Howard. So if they've been punished, then so should the war criminals from Israel, right? It's simple. Yes, I know they've been punished. So if they were allowed to commit the October 7th attacks, the fact is they committed them and they should pay for that, whether they were allowed to or not. Okay, so we make them pay for their crimes, and we also make the Israeli government, the IDF, Mossad, anybody that had the prior knowledge and allowed it to happen, they should be punished because it led to what? What did it lead to? It led to somewhere it didn't need to go. Yes, the 6-day war. And there's a difference between Jews and the government in Israel. Yes. When I talk about Israel, I'm talking about the Israeli government. I'm talking about Benjamin Nosferatu and his cabinet and the IDF soldiers that participated in these atrocities. Because make no mistake, I told you guys about how the IDF was concerned that the reservists that they recalled, they were concerned they wouldn't come back. And there are IDF soldiers that are talking about these atrocities. There are IDF defectors that are giving their accounts on what happened in Gaza, what they were doing, the atrocities they were committing. So it's all over the place. There's no avoiding the facts, right? If IDF soldiers who have determined that they can no longer participate in these atrocities, they're speaking out against the Israeli government that gave the orders. So what's wrong with making the people punished, responsible? What's wrong with holding them accountable? Lawrence Holshauser says God judges you as a nation. Well, Outlaw APAC, how are they able to operate without Farah going through Farah? See, these are things that we have to talk about, y'all. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get up in this store. It's been great having this discussion. Even with you, Nepler. I have no problem with Howard Nepler, by the way, because he said, you're forgetting about the head of the snake, Iran. Howard, come on, bruh. Howard. Come on, bruh. Howard Nepler. The head of the snake is Iran. The head of what snake? What is the snake going to do? Howard says you have people in America that speak out against the military. They were once soldiers, but have become misguided. I was a soldier. I was a soldier. I'm not a combat vet like my brother. Speak for myself. Fortunately, I was never made to kill in the name of my government. And for that, I'm grateful, because there are people that have, and they have PTSD for real, and they are tortured beings because they understand the realities. But I'm a soldier as well. I'm not a combat soldier. Yes, I can sit up here and tell y'all fortunately, I've never been in combat. Fortunately, I say that because I know people that have been in combat, and when you find out that what you're doing, what they had you do, in these foreign nations based on a lie, based on lies. They lied on Afghanistan, they lied on Iraq to have us invade these countries and commit atrocities there. And when the things that these people had to do, the soldiers that went over there, including people from my unit, right when I was getting out, I was 90 days out from the military when my unit got the orders. They went right, and my unit went right before I got out. They went right before I got out. So when I stopped being active duty and went into the ready reserves, they got out. They went out there and they did that thing. And the pretext was a lie. The reason we went out there was a goddamn lie. They lied. They lied on about Osama bin Laden. They lied about Saddam Hussein. They lied. Yeah, based on lies. Why have you allowed the treason, says Becky Williams? I allow what treason? Let me know what treason you're referring to. You have become misguided. I do pray for you. Thank you for your service. I work with many soldiers who return without limbs. And yes, God bless those people as well. I don't understand how I'm misguided, though. The people of Gaza and Hamas is not the ones shooting the rockets. You're arresting the wrong people. Well, it's Israel's land. Imagine this guy said it's not Israel's land. So the UN has to give you permission to be a citizen on your own land for it to be your land. Knock it off. See, this is the problem that we have. This is the problem that we have with this whole land ownership. What territory belongs to who? You guys are basically saying a small number of elite class individuals are the only ones to determine who can have what land where? I don't care what the UN did in 1979. I don't care. Because then you have to take that logic and apply it to the entire world. You have to apply it. You have to take that logic and you have to say, well, then guess what? The Europeans in goddamn Australia, take your ass back to Europe. The people in Africa that aren't African, the Europeans in Africa, take your ass back to Europe. The people in the United States, the Europeans here, right? Your ancestors came over here and there were already people here before you. Take your ass back to Europe. Is that what we're going to do? Yes, including, exactly, David Johnson. Is that what we're going to say now? Is that what you're saying? This man wants people punished, but he wants proof first. This man wants people punished, but he wants proof first. Isn't that what you do before you punish people? You got to prove that they committed the thing that they're being punished for. You can't just, right? No, I'm not okay with genocide. So that's why I said Benjamin Nosferatu has to have due process. It has to be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Benjamin Nosferatu is a war criminal. Yes. And you have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was a genocide in Palestine committed by Israel. You have to prove these things. Yes. There's proof out there. You have to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yes, you have to do that. You have to take the information that is given and you have to go through the process. Yes, you have to go through these things. This is how it's supposed to work. I'm not saying do it now. I'm saying place that motherfucker under arrest. Place him under arrest, charge him, allow him to state his case, allow him to defend himself, and then guess who the burden of proof is on? The burden of proof is on the ICC. The burden of proof is on the international court and the UN to prove that Benjamin Nosferatu is a war criminal. Yes, you have to prove it. I believe he's a war criminal. I think he has committed war crimes. I think the IDF has committed war crimes, but on his orders. But of course, you have to prove these things. You have to allow all the information to come out. You have to have discovery. You have to have a defense in the prosecution. Everybody has to state their case. So while I believe that there is no doubt that they committed crimes against humanity, it has to be proven in a court. It is what it is. That's how it works. It's called due process. I still believe in due process. So it all has to come to light. I like that SHH. That's Satan Yahoo. That's another good one. Freedom, Realize says, Freedom, this is why they all do their own words. Chutzpah, a combination of audacity, nerve, and supreme self-confidence. Yep. It has to be proven. If you remember before this war, Benjamin Netanyahu, Rim fan. Imagine if you live in a country where your government was trying to stop rockets from being shot across the border. Due process like Israel did with the Palestinians in Gaza before carrying out the death penalty. Yeah, that's why that's exactly why they need to be punished. Yes. If they did that to the Gazans, like MAGA Man says, then they should and will be punished. Yes. It's a melting pot. Yes, they did not allow, they killed children. Hundreds of thousands of children, over 400,000. Somebody has to pay for that. And guess who gave the orders? Whoever gave the orders and carried out the orders and allowed this shit to happen under their watch when they could have stopped it. They all need to be punished. Hamas also killed children. So then, yes, if Hamas killed children, guess what? They need to be punished as well. Whatever leaders carried out the orders, whatever soldiers, whether it was ordered, whether they were like, okay, we don't care if everybody needs to be punished for killing children, point blank and period. But Hamas did not slaughter the number of children that Israel did. So they should both be punished, point blank and period. But see, what we're trying to do, this is what the problem is. People are trying to deny the atrocities that Israel committed against over 400,000 children. No one is denying that Hamas killed any children, right? No one is denying that. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to justify Israel doing it. We're trying to justify what Israel, the atrocities they're doing. This is what I'm speaking out against. Anyway, y'all, thank you guys. I got to get out of here. I appreciate the conversation. Well, I appreciate the comments and the chats, whether you agree with me or not. Someone said stop lying. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. If you guys have any information or you guys think I said something wrong and you want to, you want to prove it, you want to, I'm open to any information that goes against what I said, right? Because this is not an echo chamber. You will not find that here. People will, you will be able to speak your piece right over here in my channel. Howard Nepler says, let's go to Israel. Howard, I gave you guys have my email, freedomsmarch80@gmail.com. So, Pixie Mermaid says, I will say you cool to agree here. Thank you. Thank you, Pixie. So, freedomsmarch80@gmail.com. And guess what? If you give me information, I will look at it. people have emailed me before, and I took a look at what they had to show me. And I believe one young lady, she sent me something that was supposed to go against what I believe, but it wasn't convincing. So I can talk about that as well, and let you guys make that decision. Would you agree to go? I will go with you. Howard, we can talk about it, right? We can talk about it. Someone informed says war is wrong. Yeah, email me. Anybody can email me. Yes, Howard is passionate. I will say that. I just have to understand what going to Israel is going to prove. It's a lot of fun. Oh, Howard, that would not be the purpose of the visit. It would not be to have fun. It would be to get information and to bring the information to the people, the truth. Whether I like it or not, whether it agrees with me or not. That would be the purpose of the visit, of course. But, you know. Anyway, thank you guys. Tanya, Tony, I don't trust anybody. That's why I said, you know, we can have a conversation. But, you know, yeah. I'm not just going to go to Israel to have fun, right? The thing is this. Going to Israel, right? Because see, it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to go to Israel, but Israel is not where these things are happening. Things have happened in Israel, and I understand what other people have gone to Israel. It's like a re-education thing. I'm not trying to be re-educated. I'm not trying to be flooded with propaganda and this. No. Well, see, here's the problem, Howard Nepler. Israel is just one source, right? Israel is one source. Gaza is another source. The United States is another source. There are many sources, right? There are many sources. I appreciate you, G Bear Love. Yes, Israel is not the only source, right? But, you know, it's important to put your feet on the ground as much as you can, right? The only way to get information is not just to go somewhere. There are a lot of different ways to get a lot of different types of information. You know? And so, yeah, I'm open to receiving information. I'm open to evidence and I'm open to everything. I'm open to receiving information from many different sources, right? I would be interested in a Palestinian inviting me to Palestine to see. I would like to see both sides. If I'm going to do that, I want to go see both sides. You know? Yeah. Howard is very pushy. Very pushy. I want to see, if I'm going to do that, it has to be on both sides. Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for getting me over. Yes, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Thank you guys for getting me over 100 likes. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you to everybody that agree with me, disagree with me. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to Black Spring with Autumn, Real Eyes. Thank you. You know, thank you to Speak for Myself, who came through. Y'all make sure y'all go check out his channel. If you guys, again, my moderators that have channels, drop your link. You know what I'm saying? And so that people can go check y'all out as well. because, you know, we need information and truth warriors and freedom warriors out there putting all this stuff out there, right? And that's what we need. We need these conversations. We need conversations with people like Howard. We need conversations with people like Pixie and G-Bear, whether we agree or disagree. Tiny says, whose channel? You got Speak for Myself, Black Spring with Autumn, Convos with Cam. Any moderator with a channel, y'all can go check those guys out. All right. Anyway, we will continue along the path toward freedom, however we have to get there. I'm going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene maybe later today, maybe tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about the pushback she's given to her party because they ain't acting right. And when people within government do things like that, how we should have they back. If they really about that life. If we about that life and they about that life, then guess what? It doesn't matter if they left or right, white or black. If they are pushing back against the establishment, they need all the encouragement they can get, and they need to see, and other representatives need to see, that if they push back, we're going to have their back as well. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. Peace.